Embla Books presents The Pyramid Murders, written by Fiona Veitch Smith and read by Hannah Genesius. Prologue. 1st September 1928. Shepherd's Hotel, Cairo, Egypt. Dear Charlie, I hope this letter finds you well, old sport. To be frank, I hope it finds you at all. Some of the fellows who've written home tell me their letters have been languishing in the Cairo post office due to a strike by the local workers. Not that I blame them. They paid half what they would get in England. But listening to the colonials in the bar here over sundowners, you'd swear they'd forgotten that we'd given Egypt back to the Egyptians in 1922, and it's up to them to run their own affairs. But let me not wallow in politics. Get on with it, Bob, I hear you say. And oh, I wish I could hear you say it here, right in my ear. I do hope you will come here with me some day, Charlie, and indulge me as I indulge my little hobby. I understand you couldn't spare the time this year after taking over the practice from your father, but perhaps you'll make it for the next digging season, if I come again. We could do with a good doctor. I was in Armagh last month, as you know, and I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say you vicariously saved a chap's life. He'd got an infected mosquito bite, yes, just like old Carnarvon, and he would have gone the same way too with the infection spreading to his blood if I hadn't given him that medicine you got from your friend Alex and insisted on packing for me. Well, you can tell the good Dr. Fleming that his penicillin, is that what he called it, really works. So with the curse of the pharaohs avoided, I accompanied this chap back to Cairo for more dedicated medical attention. I was tiring of the dig anyway, and I don't think I should be joining the same team again. That's why I say if I come again. I shan't put it all in this letter in case it's intercepted. Yes, I hear you say you're sounding paranoid again, Bob. But that's what happens when you work as a private investigator. You get a nose for these things. And I've begun to sniff out something corrupt. Something to do with flaunting the laws put in place by the Egyptian authorities to prevent the looting of their heritage. I shan't say more here. Walls, particularly at this hotel, most definitely have ears. Yours, as ever, in intrigue, and with unspoken but not unfelt affection. Bob. Chapter 1. Friday, 7th February, 1930. Miss Clara Vale felt ridiculous walking through the freezing streets of Newcastle dressed as an Egyptian queen. She was wearing only a light coat to protect her from the elements, and if she didn't get inside soon, she feared she'd perish from hypothermia. Oh, how she rued the day the Hancock Museum had agreed with her friend Juju Levine that they'd get more press coverage for the launch of the Robert Wallace Memorial Collection if guests came in fancy dress. The suggestion was even harder to refuse since Dr. Charlie Malone, walking beside her dressed as Tutankhamun, also thought it was a splendid idea. Your Uncle Bob would have loved it, he had reminded Clara when they were measured for size at Juju and Johnny Levine's costume shop. And let's not forget, this is all in his honour. Juju had fluttered around them like a butterfly. She and her brother Johnny had been Bob's landlords, renting him the office space above their costume shop for his private investigation business, which Clara had inherited after his tragic death the previous spring. It was Juju who had suggested Clara go to the launch as Nefertiti. It's either her or Cleopatra. They were the most beautiful women in Egypt, and you're the most beautiful woman in Newcastle. Don't be silly, said Clara. I'm not being silly. Don't you ever look in the mirror, Clara? You'd give Theda Barra a run for her money. If they make that picture again, they should cast you. Dark hair, dark eyes, darkly mesmerising looks. Clara laughed. Oh, Juju, you flatter me. But a Hollywood vamp I am not. Well, that may be so, but we'll have you looking like one for Bob's sake, Juju tutted as she measured Clara for the costume she envisaged, the design sketches pinned to the sewing-room wall. Clara was glad to see that the dress, although alluring, consisted of far more than the see-through sheer chiffon that Miss Barrow wore in Cleopatra, and the elaborate headdress suited her black bobbed hair and blunt fringe quite nicely. All this for some dusty old artefacts, thought Clara, as she and Charlie hurried into the museum, trying to ignore the amused glances of the good folk of Newcastle.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?